Okay, we're a little bit late getting started this morning. We been joined by Supervisor Sandquist, who is currently out in California with us. And so now that we're all present, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We're going to first start with acknowledgement of the minutes from the previous meetings. Let me figure out what days those were.
The 13th.
The 9th, the 13th. Okay, those would be the, well, there's one more here. No. Okay, it's the 9th and the 13th. Is there any questions about the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Drish, a second from Sandquist to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to meet with our county engineer, Mr. Dwayne Hines. Good morning.
Good morning, Supervisor.
Morning.
Good morning, all. It's been a couple weeks since we've talked. There's been some activity going on. The DOT has closed 78 up by Richland for the bridge reconstruction. So traffic's running down the Packwood Road and then over to one as a detour. Some folks have been using Jasmine as a cutoff, which has raised some concerns with dust and safety at, dust at the houses and then also at the stop signs, making sight distance questionable for folks who aren't used to the road. James Webb, the District 5 construction engineer with the DOT, has contacted us, and we've done a little bit of finagling, and we're going to do some dust control on Jasmine for the DOT and then bill them for the expense, and they'll reimburse us.
So have you come up with someone to do that actual dust control? Because we don't necessarily have anybody that does that.
We'll do it with our forces.
Oh,
just like
okay.
we do.
Oh,
we do
yeah,
Walton Road and
saw Billy said
Yeah.
you could outfit one of the brine trucks with calcium chloride to spray down.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So we do it for a handful of places so we can make that work.
Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Then I was contacted 2 weeks ago by the folks at the Heartland Greenway for that natural CO2 pipeline that they're proposing to go through. It sounds like they're going to have 19 roads that they're going to cross in the county. So that'd be, and they're going to want to have field entrances for each of those. They're going to have 38 field entrances as part of their construction process, and then a handful of those will remain as permanent. I don't feel that it's any different than our standard field entrance, but I wanted to run it by you guys to make sure that there was anything special you guys wanted to consider or requirements on them.
Okay.
But that as a standard entrance, they pay their fee and get their inspection and have their entrance allowed. So it'll be 38, and then we'll have to figure out if they need pipes or if they're going to be dry fills.
Okay.
But I told them I would check with you guys before I gave them the complete go ahead, and it's something that is probably 2 years down the road yet. See, we've been in contact with the IDOT and the BNSF Railroad regarding the 205th Avenue crossing. It's in rough shape. So the Chris Klopp with the DOT is going to coordinate with the BNSF to get a revised crossing design to make that a safer, more permanent structure. The county's share of the expense on that will be 20%. The BNSF will have 20%, and then the DOT gets 20%, and then the federal government picks up the balance. That's something, again, that'll be probably a year or so down the road. And the BNSF assured me that they would maintain that crossing until that time to make it safe to traverse.
Good.
Thank you.
And I don't remember if I told you guys, I found the Cedar Avenue. Oh yeah, we talked about the Cedar Avenue Bridge project over by Batavia.
Yep.
We're moving forward on that. There's some right-of-way easement that needs to be purchased. I've gone through the calculations on that. I feel pretty comfortable about all of them except for the temporary easement for Mr. McElderry at $71.55. From the landowner standpoint, I don't know if it's enough money for him to piddle with it. So,
Well, yeah,
didn't
you're
know.
looking at 4/100 of an acre
yeah, it's just,
is all.
yeah, but you need it so you have room to get
To work.
the right slope.
Yep.
But I
Yeah.
was wondering if maybe we should set some kind of a minimum for that. And I've thrown the question out to the County Engineer Service Bureau members to see if other counties have a policy on that, and I haven't gotten any feedback yet.
Mhm.
I guess I'd go with your recommendation.
Well, I think we need to find out if there is a precedence out there that allows us to give more money based off of the percent of acreage. And in this case, it's only 4/100 of an acre. And so there may be a formula that's set for how much per tenth or whatever. Because I see 1/10 of an acre brings $199.39. And so if you call everything a tenth, even if it's lower than a tenth, maybe that's something you could use for that. That would be my suggestion, but keep in contact with the Service Bureau to see what they say and they've done in the past. Because I'd hate to set some sort of unusual precedence for this, but you know, anything under 1/10 of an acre is just skipping some dirt. Is all you're doing.
The big thing is it's a steep ditch, so you need to be able to flatten the slopes to fall within federal guidelines.
Right.
And to do that, you need to encroach on his property by 10 feet to have the room to do it.
So,
And I think $200 basically, or a 1/10 acre minimum.
Yeah, that's my feeling, is paying on a 1/10 acre minimum if it's below a tenth.
Yes, and generally the DOT provides pretty good guidance in their IMs, and they don't on this subject. But I don't think the DOT generally deals with small areas. So
No, I don't think I ever
What do you think
saw.
you'll know from the folks you asked?
I should know later today, I would hope, or later this week. They're quite Johnny on the spot, but it's summertime and
When is
people are in the
when is the project slated to actually start?
well, I have to have the right of way purchased before we can go to letting.
Okay,
So we're hoping to get an October letting, so we fall within, so we keep it as a swap project.
so we have
We have a
a
little
couple
bit
of
of time.
months. Yeah, a little bit of time
Well,
to figure
I need
this
to
out.
I need to get the right of way purchased in June so that we
Oh,
can have the check.
okay.
plan. We have to have the check plan submitted
Okay,
before July so that we hit the DOT's letting schedule.
all right.
So we've got a
So,
little bit of time.
yeah,
So the
follow up on that then.
Yeah.
By the 6th of June.
Yeah,
And
that would work.
that should work. See, what else do I have?
You were gonna talk about,
Oh, we had
This?
our quote from Ideal Solar for the Pleasant Plain grader shed, which would basically have a payback year of 14 years on the investment on that. Make us basically renewable energy on heating that shed for the wintertime for snow and ice removal.
Mhm.
There- We approached both of the local suppliers, only received a quote from, actually only received feedback from the one. It fell within our budget of what we thought it was going to be. We were assuming, or based on conversations last summer, we were guessing that this was gonna end up in the $20,000 to $26,000 range, and I think it came right in there. So we'd like to proceed on that.
Yeah, it looks like cost is $24,512 according to the proposal
We've
here.
got the money.
Yeah, it's in our it's in the budget, basically for the July, for next year's budget, so.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because it won't be installed until after the 1st of July.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
I think that's really all I have. If you guys want to think on that, and if we need to do a resolution for.
I would think that we would probably need a resolution of some sort stating that you're going to use this out of the current fiscal year 23 budget. And that dollar amount comes out of the total amount of money that has been allowed to you.
Yep.
So you can pull it from whatever locations you need to when it comes to that.
It's
But
in our
that's
building and maintenance.
how things work is we give you a total number for your budget, and then you can use that for whatever line items you want at that point forward.
All
So,
right, we'll get that written up for the next meeting.
okay, thank you.
And I think that's all I have. I've gotten my pin from Susie, so life is good.
There you go. Dee, did you have any other questions for Dwayne?
No,
Okay,
What about the secondary road employees getting stuff increased?
that's coming up. That's the next item on our list. It should be.
I probably shouldn't leave yet then.
Probably shouldn't.
No, we're going to now discuss and consider step increases for 2 secondary road department employees. Dwayne, you want to address this a little bit?
Well, basically, this is just their next step on the wage scale.
Okay,
The guys are doing a really good job. We're happy that they're here, and with the state of employment the way it is and the folks that are struggling to find help, I feel awfully blessed that we have the good people that we do.
and again, all wage increases come from your total amount of money that you're allotted by the board in the year, and then you have to find that within the money that you've been allotted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear. So we have 2 employees, Keaton Phillips, who has an effective date of 5/1/22. That would be their anniversary date. Okay, that's not the original date at which they were employed. And he's an equipment operator with a pay range of 12, step F. Base wage is $26.97, and he gets no longevity pay, and his total rate will be $26.97. Starting after this resolution, we also have Quinn Daniels, whose effective date is 5/16/22. He is an equipment operator and pay range 12. He is at step B. His base wage is $23.23, and total rate will be $23.23 because he has no longevity pay. So do I have a motion to approve this pay increase for these 2 employees?
So moved.
second,
I have a motion from Drish, a second from Sandquist. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Yep. Susie, do you have yours so I can sign it? Well, I think that's all we need from Dwayne. Thank you very much, sir, for coming in and joining us this morning. All right, we're going to move on to consider resolution to hire Darcy Wibstad in the auditor's office. Okay, we have a resolution in front of us here that states whereas Iowa Code Section 331 .903 states that the number of deputies, assistants, and clerks for each office shall be determined by the board, and the number and approval of each appointment shall be adopted by a resolution recorded in the minutes of the board. And whereas Jefferson County desires to hire an accounting clerk, therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Jefferson County, Iowa, that the Jefferson County Auditor is authorized to hire an accounting clerk, and be it also resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Jefferson County, Iowa, that Darcy Wibstad is hired as an accounting clerk in the Jefferson County Auditor's Office at a rate of $45,000 per year effective May 17th, 2022. So do I have a motion to approve the hiring?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Dresch, a second from Sandquist to make the hire for the auditor's office. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Yeah, that goes to.
Darren, you have to sign that one too.
Oh. All right. One more signature here. There you go. Oh, sorry. Nope. All right, we'll move on to consider reappointing Michelle Manning to the Veteran Affairs Commission. We have a motion in front of us that Michelle Manning be extended to the Veterans Affairs Commission effective July 1st, 2022 for a 3-year term. This term ends June 30th of 2025.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I've got a motion from Sandquist, a second from Dresch to approve Michelle Manning. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Susie, there you go. All right, we'll move on then to discuss and consider hiring Nate Smithberg as a seasonal employee for the County Conservation Department. We have a motion for, it was moved by, second by, that the Board of Supervisors of Jefferson County approve the hiring of Nate Smithberg as a seasonal County Conservation Board employee at a rate of $10 per hour through August. Motion, okay. So
Before I make a motion, you're very lucky to get somebody for $10 an hour.
Well, I know, he agreed, the high school kid agreed to that, but we're actually probably gonna lose our other seasonal, which got a better offer
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Mhm.
One of our other experienced seasonal has already left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Reevaluate what we're paying our seasonals at some point to keep them.
okay.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion from Dresch.
Second.
D seconds. Okay, we have a motion from Dresch, a second from Sandquist. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. And yes, Susie, you're right. Getting someone as seasonal help for $10 an hour is a good deal. Well, I keep hitting your finger.
How about being a doctor?
No,
Out there working elections.
yeah, I know. I know. Hand that over to her. Nuisance. All right. Let's move on then to discuss and consider hiring Diana Flynn as a part-time office assistant for county conservation. So tell us a little bit about that, Sean.
We've had this kind of in the budget for a few years, but we struggle to find someone. We just want someone for probably, we're thinking 15 hours a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's kind of flexible right now, but basically in the summer, and this is just like May through October, it's not a permanent position, but myself and Brittany are both out a lot of times at the office, but we do have traffic in the park and phone calls and things, and we just don't have anybody in the office. So we're trying to fill those voids with this additional person. And then if she's not doing anything else, she can do some of the money counting and that kind of thing that we do in the office there. I think it'll be easy to keep her busy for that short period, a few hours a week, and it'll help us out a lot. So.
Okay, and this is something, again, you said has been kind of a budget item
Yeah,
for
we have a line
several
item
years. You just haven't.
under the administration, and well, we, like 2 years ago, Brittany had 2 interns, and one of them was kind of a nature center host or facility attendant type position, and they went back and forth. And this year, we're just kind of struggling to get much interest in these kind of, Diana was the only applicant for this particular, we posted this position. We're getting like 0 or 1 applicants for some of our
You've got a
positions.
good one.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
and she's got, I think, another part-time job, so she didn't really want to commit to a whole lot of hours, but, and like I said, it's kind of a trial run to see how it works. And again, we may have to be paying better to get people interested in the future, but that's what we're looking at.
Okay, so we have a motion in front of the board that reads, it was moved by, seconded by, that the Board of Supervisors, Jefferson County, approve the hiring of Diana Flynn as a part-time office assistant for the County Conservation Board at a rate of $15 per hour through October. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, I've got a motion from Drish, a second from Sandquist. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of programs going on out there, so that's probably a very good idea.
Okay. And then when you return, you'll have some things to,
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.
okay. All righty. All right, so do we have any committee reports? Susie?
No.
No? Dee?
I had mental health a week and a half ago, usual annual contracts for services, so nothing too unusual there.
Okay.
Had the Justice Advisory Committee meeting last week, and it was very, very interesting. It was my first one, and that Kurt Swain is on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just interesting learning. One of them asked, so what is the value, does the legislature ever listen to the recommendations of this committee? And they said, well, that's a good thing for us to research. So it was just good to hear somebody ask that. But that's the purpose of the committee.
All
So,
right. Okay, and I didn't have any committee meetings in the last 2 weeks. I was out of town all last week, so, and part of it every day but Friday last week. So, all right then, that's done for committee reports. Do we have any public comments? Anybody in the room here? No? Hearing none. Do we have anybody on the Zoom call with us that may have a comment? We have Connor from the radio station. We have Deb Book, Tom Drish, Pat McVan, and Marianne Nordike. Okay, hearing no public comments, we'll close that section of the meeting. Move on to allow claims and approve reports.
We don't even have them yet. Let's see how we can do that.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to wait a minute just to see if they've got them ready in the auditor's office to bring out to us. We have not seen those yet. So then we'll move on to discuss and consider nuisance properties. I've had a problem brought forward about some trailers being moved in out on a location on Mint Boulevard, and we'll look into that. These are trailers that came from Utopia Park. They're going out to a gentleman that purchased up to 10, I've heard. 3 of them are currently out on Mint Boulevard. They held up some traffic on at least one of them that they were trying to move in out there. I saw some pictures from someone here 2 weeks ago at the meeting that showed that they were all kind of jackknifed in the roadway there and couldn't get the trailer down in. But my understanding is the person that is buying them and moving them in is wanting to make a tiny village out there. And we have nothing on the books as far as the county is concerned as to how those would work and what kind of sanitation needs to go on with them, whether this would fall under a trailer park versus a tiny home setup. So there's going to be a lot of discussion coming up here over the next month or so about what the proposal is and what's going on. So
what are we going to do after? Isn't Russ' contract up in July? What are we going to do?
We've been told by Russ that they would go ahead and approve for another year because we're continuing with the nuisance program like we had spoken earlier. We weren't sure whether we were going to continue with that or not, but at this point we are moving forward with a nuisance. So they will still be able to do that.
Okay. I got a couple emails on that same project, and I suggested that, it sounded like they were going to try to resolve it, but then if it's a nuisance issue, to contact Bruce and get it evaluated.
Right, and that's what they did. They contacted Bruce, and Bruce had said that they needed to come to the board. They went out and looked at it. Again, the trailers have just been stacked side by side out there, and they're not usable. They're not setting up to be used right at this point in time. It's coming up in the future. The neighbors all wanted to get together for a meeting this coming Thursday morning at 10:30 here at the supervisor's office, but the gentleman that owns the property and owns the trailers cannot make it because of a conflict, a doctor's conflict. So I'm not sure whether that meeting is still going to take place or not. Without the owner of the property there, it doesn't make sense to just have the neighbors all come in and express their views. We need to understand a little bit more on it. So I'm going to contact the gentleman that called me last Thursday and spoke with me about this and see if we can't get another time set up in order to have that kind of a meeting once the property owner and the owner of the trailers can be in attendance.
Is Dan been involved in it as far as the
As
sanitation?
far as I know, he has not been contacted about any of this. I'll need to contact him. And I'll also need to confirm with Bruce Hudson that he or Kent can be at the meeting as well, so that we can get their input on what's going on. So
So are you gonna do that, or is that a?
I'm going to do that.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yep. All right, anything else that we need to discuss today?
Mhm.
All right, no other business on the agenda before us. I would accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
How long do you think the bill's?
So moved.
Susie had one question about how long it will be before the bills are brought to us. I don't think she wants to approve or allow
Right.
claims until we've approved them. So I'm not sure whether we would have to have another meeting, a special work session meeting in order to do that or not. Okay, we can add that to our agenda for Wednesday because we are going to be here in the office on Wednesday for a meeting. So why don't we go ahead and do that, and we'll do that at that point in time. So I would again, I would accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Drish, a second from Sandquist. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Appreciate you joining in on the meeting.